Good morning, folks. Hi, Phil McPhail here with United Country Lifestyle Properties of Maine. Are you an ATV or snowmobile rider that just lives for that adventure? If you are, I think I may have found the perfect spot for you over here in the town of Brownville, Maine. What I'm going to show you today is a 4-acre lot that comes off the end of Russell Road right here. This is the end of the improved part of Russell Road. We've got a couple hundred feet down this road to improve, and then we have about 450 feet of 66-foot wide right-of-way running into the property. So this will be at the very end of the road, no matter what you do here, folks. It's going to be private. Direct access to trail we'll talk about here shortly. But come along with me. We're going to go look at this piece here in Brownville overlooking Schoodic Lake in an area that is blessed with so many beautiful natural features from lakes, streams, mountains, hiking trails. Let's go take an adventure today. So now we're gonna walk down the right-of-way here, which is a continuation of Russell Road. We've got two rights of ways for this property, and when you get the deed from us, you can look at that and see what I'm talking about. But we have an extension for the right-of-way over Russell Road down to the point where we're gonna have another right-of-way across other landowners. And this is for all purposes of a way. You can see we got power lines right above my head here. And if you'll have to get with a power company if you want to bring electricity into the site, but it doesn't look like it should be too difficult to do. So we're going to walk down here another 100 feet, and I'll kind of walk us in near the center of where the 66-foot wide right-of-way should be. So we just stepped into the woods off of Russell Road now. And this is approximately where the center of the right-of-way is. And we've kind of flagged this up for a trail for you to find, but it is pretty level ground. It's rocky in places, but it looks to be quite dry considering it's the first week of April. Well, actually the start of the second week of April. And there's a little bit of snow left in the woods, but most of it's gone. So we're gonna walk this right-of-way in and get to the property. We'll take a tour around the whole piece. And if you're coming up here to look, folks, probably if you've been watching a while, you've heard me say, make sure you put some safety glasses on when you go for a walk in the thick woods up here. You don't want to poke out your eye or do some eye damage, and I know lots of people who have. So let's go for a walk along this right-of-way. And as we walk in here, you can kind of see what we've got. It's relatively level ground, quite thick with young hardwoods in here on the way in. But, you know, a day with an excavator and you have yourself a pretty decent driveway in here. And if you come in here without me, we did kind of put some flagging up here so you'd get an idea where you should be. There's a home that comes in from a different road across from Russell Road where we access this property. So you'll see a tan-colored ranch on the other side. This land that we've got starts in here at about 450 feet or so along this right-of-way before we get to the land. We're in here now about 440 feet, which is, according to the deed, the distance along this right-of-way to get into the 4.04 acres. We do have a really good description of this property that was done apparently by a surveyor. We could not find the northeast corner. I believe it's somewhere right handy to where I'm standing right now, but the other corners we're able to find. So what we're going to do, we're going to walk up this hill. We got elevations here that run from about 530 to 580 feet above sea level. So we got a pretty good elevation gain. Schoodic Lake is off to our east to here. And I think if you come in on the right-of-way and build a driveway up this hill, which is a fairly steady incline. It's not severe, but it's steady all the way up. I think you get a nice view of the lake. You'd have to clear a good part of the lot to do it, but we do have, we're probably 100 feet or maybe a little more above the level of lake. So we're gonna walk up this hill. While we do, let's kind of look at what we got for trees in here. And the first thing you'll notice, and it's April, so everything looks dead. If you're not used to deciduous forest, that's probably 99.9% of what this land is hardwood. We've got white birch, yellow birch in here. We got some cherry, a lot of American beech nuts. Well, the husks from the beech nuts, if you're wondering, those who haven't seen these before. That's a beech nut. Well, that's a beech nut husk. There used to be a seed in the middle of this. It's a great mass tree for feeding our wildlife in Maine, squirrels, deer, bear. Everybody likes beech nuts, and if you never tried them, they're actually pretty tasty. You can see why they like them. Most of these trees, this is younger forest. You know, the average tree in here is probably 6 inches in diameter, 4 to 6. The trees are roughly 30 feet tall. Some a little taller, some shorter. And you can see the ground itself, as we're walking up through here, is kind of rocky on the surface. I think this is Howland and Playstead, if memory serves me correctly, that I looked at the soil map, and these are pretty well-drained soils. You often find them on the sides of hills up here in this part of the state. And yeah, they're well-drained. The snow's melting. We're not seeing any standing water in here anywhere. It's just a nice, fairly steady slope up this hill. We're gonna keep walking until we find that corner, and then we'll stop and show you that. Okay, we made it up the hill, and we've come to the first piece of rebar that we found, and we did find this right where we expected to. There's no surveyor's cap on this, folks, so if you're concerned about location, you probably ought to have it checked out by a surveyor, or maybe call the one that we think did this. There's a wiffle golf ball stuck to the top of that one. It does have a marking on it, but so we think this is our corner. It appears to be, based on all the evidence that we've seen. And there's some old flagging going down through the woods here. We're gonna follow this along so this is the northwest corner. We're gonna follow this west line southerly until we get to the next turn. And while we do, we'll talk about location here. So let's go walk this west line. All right, folks, now we're walking this western boundary. Let's talk about the town of Brownville. We got 1,139 people, more or less, according to the 2020 census. This is a pretty rural town. A lot of nice, friendly people up this way of Maine. We're about 11 miles to the nearest sizable service town, which would be Milo. Milo's got a pretty good sized grocery store, a few restaurants, a couple convenience stores, other small shops. If you've ever watched our channel, you may have seen Elaine's Bakery. My brother and I really like her cream horn that she makes there. So that's Milo. Dover-Foxcroft, which is the county seat for this county, is about 25 miles from here. And before we keep going, I want to stop and show you another corner here and explain what's going on as an eagle flies over. All right. So this land was originally surveyed into several lots in here. And apparently the town didn't properly do the subdivision process, so it was nullified. Sorry, folks. You know, the phone never stops ringing when you do what we do for a living. So what we've got here, I was saying before the phone rang that we've got survey stakes in the ground here that were set, and I don't think it was ever finalized with the town. But here's the deal. We've got some pretty good corners, except for one we couldn't find. It's probably there, we just didn't see it. If you wanted to buy this property and split it up with your family or friends, you can buy the whole lot together. 5 years from now, be very easy to divide based on the old descriptions of these lots. So that's an opportunity where you can't always have that kind of work done. You might want to consider that. So if you got some friends that like to ride as much as you do, want to be on the trail and get to some pretty cool things within a reasonable distance, might be a good lot to divide. All right, so we're going to keep walking this line, and I'll finish telling you a little bit more about the area. So like I said, Dover-Foxcroft, 25 miles from here roughly, and that town is a really nice town. It's got a couple of grocery stores. It's the nearest hospital, the Mayo Regional Northern Lights Mayo Regional Hospital is there in Dover-Foxcroft. And that's got an emergency facility, some pretty good docks there, good sized school. If your kids live in this town, they go to a couple different schools here. There's a small school here in Brownville if you were going to live here for elementary school. And then high school, you're going to have to travel into Milo. What else can I tell you? City of Portland, we're about 153 miles from Portland, Maine. So if you live in Portland and you're looking for a getaway up in the North Woods that you can reach in a little over 2 hours, this is a pretty good opportunity. And I think you guys can see the beautiful hardwood here. I haven't seen a softwood tree. I'd have to hunt for one to find one in here. So this is almost entirely hardwood lot. And we're still following the old ribbons probably hung here by that surveyor several years ago. And we're almost to the other corner. So when we get there, we'll show you that. Okay, we get over here to the southwest corner, and we didn't find this when we were snowshoeing in here earlier in the winter, because this corner pin, cameraman got really good eyes this morning and found this under a deadfall at the base of this beech tree. So Miles, the surveyor's last name is Miles. His cap is on here, and we'll reference that on this map software that we have that we can send you. So we're going to continue down the southern boundary, see if we can locate that corner over there in the southeast corner. So we're going to head east along what we believe this line should be. The surveyor didn't blaze the entire boundary here, but set corner pins. Behind me, and I don't think you can see it because there's a lot of trees here, but if you did some clearing, you can see the lake through the trees now that the leaves are off. I'm not sure you get a great view, but if you cleared enough trees, built your house up a little bit, you're going to see some water off in the distance. We're pretty close to the lake, actually, probably a quarter mile from the shore where we're located here now. And this is going to drop down. So if you can envision clearing some of these larger trees, making maybe a field down the hillside here, you'd have a pretty nice view. And as we walk through here, just want to point out we have some really nice trees up in here. We've got some pretty nice beech, which this is an exceptional one. You've probably heard me talk about that beech bark disease that we get, but this is a beautiful beech tree. You don't see them like that too much anymore. And it's kind of a large one too. And there's several others right in this vicinity. So if you buy this property, don't cut these trees down. Let these, obviously they're somewhat resistant to the blight, to that bark disease, and let them propagate the next forest that comes up underneath the rest of what you do harvest in here. We're over here in the southeast corner now, and we found another piece of rebar with the same wiffle tennis ball on here and some red paint. This is all set in a little pile of stones. Like I said, we're pretty sure the surveyor is the one that did that. And when we use a description, it kind of took us to this location. So that's pretty good evidence. But you, again, don't forget, if you're concerned, you should get a survey always. If you can afford it and you got time to get it done, not a bad idea. So we're going to start walking north, and I think we've shown you a good part of this forest. There's a lot of white birch here on the east side, more beech and maple up on the west. We'll walk this out. When we get back out the road, we'll wrap it up, tell you a little bit more about this area, what you can do here. So let's go for another short walk through the woods here. All right, we're back out here on Russell Road, and this is the last house you're going to come to. Road has improved pretty good here. These folks use this as a seasonal place. They haven't been here this winter. The road has not been plowed. We just walked in on the last of the fresh snow. We're going to walk out to where we're parked. And while we're walking, I want to tell you a little bit about the area around here. First of all, I mentioned it earlier, Schoodic Lake. It's from this location to the lake is about a quarter of a mile, but to get a boat in there, you got about a 2-mile ride from here to what's called Knight's Landing. Knight's Landing is an improved boat landing on the southwest shore of the lake. Little parking area for your truck and trailer after you put the boat in. From here, you can be there in about 5 minutes. We also mentioned the snow sled and the ATV trail. This is a private road right here, and you can ride your ATV from that lot to the trailhead, and we'll stop and show you that here after we get back to our truck. It's about 2,000 feet from the property out through the right-of-way to the trailhead here next to Wildwoods restaurant, and that's another point of interest. We're going to stop and talk about that as well. We're out here at Wildwoods now, restaurant and cabins, and this is the trailhead behind me. It goes right through the parking area here at Wildwoods for both the snowmobile and the ATV trail. So 2,000 feet, we're right out here. You could walk to lunch or dinner. They have different hours depending on the season. This is mud season, as we like to call it, where you have snow and no snow, and where you have no snow, typically you have mud. Another 30 days will be all dried up and people will be riding their ATVs out through here. So we'll tell you a little bit about Wildwoods. Actually, you can check out the video link. We've talked to the owner of this business before and get her take on the area. Great little restaurant. Serves beer and wine, drinks. There's a bar in there. They do wood-fired pizza in there, but they also do some other amazing dishes. I like to come over for the all-you-can-eat haddock fry, but whatever you like to do, you can find it in this area. We're going to go down and check out the boat landing and show you Scoodic Lake next. Okay, we're over here at Knight's Landing. Like I said, this is a concrete boat landing right here in Brownville on Knight's Landing Road. This lake behind me, Schoodic Lake, 7,100 plus acres of water, and it's nearly 200 feet deep. I believe it to be. The state says 188 feet, and I've been out here with a fish finder and found 200 feet of water on this end of the lake. Great fishing here for lake trout and landlocked salmon. Across the lake, on the other, just beyond the other shore, is the Seboyce unit of public reserve lands. That's 21,000 acres of forest over there, with Seboyce Lake as the center of that piece of land. Great place to go hunting, go fishing, camping. There's campsites dedicated over there. Some islands on the lake. Beautiful part of Maine, right across the lake. From our property here in Brownville, we're 16 miles from the North Main Woods Gate at Katahdin Iron Works. And Katahdin Iron Works is a state historic site where they used to they mined iron ore up in the hills over in that area, and there's a forge there for where they did the iron smelting. That gate accesses 3.5 million acres of Maine working forest that is open to the public. You got a nominal fee at the gate for camping, for road use, but you know, millions of acres of commercial forest. Most of it you can hunt, you can fish, except for where they're actively logging, and percentage-wise, pretty small percentage. In that KI section of the North Main Woods, there's the 100-mile section of wilderness for the Appalachian Trail runs through there. And in the middle of that is Gulf Haggis. They call that Maine's Grand Canyon. There are 4 named waterfalls in there. Screwauger Falls is the most popular and gets all the attention, but you also have Buttermilk Falls, Billings Falls, and Stair Falls. Beautiful 9-10-mile loop trail if you like hiking. That's right along the edge of the Appalachian Trail through the Pleasant River. Beautiful piece of water, deep gorges. Some of the canyon walls are 100 feet tall. So, like I said, this area is blessed with so much outdoor recreation and natural features. I don't think you can find a better location in the state of Maine for the kind of money we have over here. Thank you folks for watching the video today, and if you would, don't forget, give us a like, give us a share, and hit the subscription button, put on all notifications so you won't miss the next video. Price on this 4 acres here in Brownville is $49,900. We've got the taxes at just under $200 a year for the land. We've got access to electricity, a wide easement to get in there and build whatever kind of driveway you want, bury your power and cable, whatever you want to do. Beautiful spot. Come check it out. Give me a call, 800-286-6164. Looking forward to your call.